A local school is in such bad shape it will close at the end of the year and not reopen for a while. Ahead, what that school will look like once it's all spruced up. Lucy?
Good morning, everybody. It's 6 o'clock here at 11 News. I'm Adam Atchison.
And I'm Rebecca Hager. New this morning, we're getting a look inside a local middle school that Harrison School District 2 says needs some major repairs.
11 News reporter Jenna Middaugh has a look in
TV 11 News. All right, Jenna, thank you for that update.
We have a lot happening today. There could also be a big vote in Washington, D.C. Some lawmakers want to limit the president's power to wage war.
The House is expected to decide on a war powers resolution. It could hold President Trump in check when it comes to military actions. Senate lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle are slamming a classified briefing on the White House decision to take out Iran's top military commander, Qasem Soleimani. The White House says that he was planning attacks against Americans, but other lawmakers say there was not enough evidence presented. Meanwhile, Iranian leaders say the U.S. needs to pull its troops out of the region. We'll see if there will be more protests in Denver today. This protest you're seeing was on the steps of the Capitol yesterday. It was organized by the Answer Coalition. They're frustrated with America's actions toward Iran. Some supporters of the killing of General Qasem Soleimani point to the fact that Soleimani was responsible for killing numerous American soldiers. But some of the protesters say that doesn't matter. Some of the protesters were also high school students there with their parents. Happening this morning, the man accused of killing 3 people at the Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood will be evaluated by federal officials for the first time. This, as you know, is Robert Deer. We told you Deer is facing federal charges that are separate from the state ones. The case in El Paso County failed to advance because Deer has been mentally unfit to stand trial several times. You're seeing him here in El Paso County courtrooms. If convicted in federal court, Deer could face the death penalty, but a decision has not been made whether to pursue it. This morning, 2 teens are still on the run after an officer-involved shooting near Denver. The shooting is also connected to a carjacking in Colorado Springs. We told you about the carjacking yesterday. A woman says 3 teenagers took her car while pointing a gun at her. It was near Memorial Park. Fortunately, she wasn't hurt. Later, Aurora police say someone called and said that they saw the stolen car with 3 people acting suspicious. An officer shot at one of the teens. It's not clear why right now. No one was hit. Police also found a gun and the stolen car.
Let's turn now to an update on the massive devastation caused by fires in Australia. We've been monitoring this since the beginning, and we just learned that 27 people have now been confirmed dead from those fires.
It's devastating. Authorities are now issuing new warnings and evacuation notices in some parts of the country. Some residents have been able to return to their homes. This is what they're coming back to. The video you're seeing is in New South Wales. It's reportedly been hit the hardest by these fires. Locals in that area say, what you're seeing now is not normal. It's usually filled with color and wildlife. This has been the worst fire, one of the worst fires that the country has ever seen. There is some slightly good news. The Department of Fire and Emergency Services says some highways are being reopened after the bushfires. This is one of them. In the newly released image you're about to see, you can see that the burned areas where the fire are to the left of the highway there. You can see where they went through. People will need permits to access the highway in Western Australia, but with roads starting to open, even if it is slowly, that shows that there's some progress in the country.
That's good news. And work to become financially independent.
I actually saw this on Instagram. I follow them on Instagram, and sounds like part of this decision was making sure that their son has time in both countries and with both traditions.
I think a lot of people would understand.
So caught on camera, not your average criminal. What this man was seen doing after breaking into a Taco Bell, that's coming up after the break. Thank you. This morning, a sexually violent predator has a new address. Kareem Lawson now lives on Lonsdale Drive in the Cimarron Hills area. He was convicted of rape in 2003. Anytime a sexually violent predator moves, law enforcement is required to tell the public. Some viewers reached out to us because his new address is right by a middle school. Colorado has no law prohibiting where a sex offender lives. Some of Hollywood's biggest stars may be called to testify at Harvey Weinstein's rape trial. According to the New York Times, Salma Hayek and Charlize Theron are possible witnesses. They're among 90 potential witnesses who may be called to the stand or just named in the testimony. 6 women are expected to testify against Weinstein. The 67-year-old producer's trial is scheduled to begin January 22nd. Weinstein claims all of his sexual encounters have been consensual. Thousands of lawsuits are happening in courts across the country. They're against companies accused of failing to warn consumers about health concerns related to talcum powder. But a new study says that there's no significant link between the powder and cancer. The study was published in the Journal of American Medical Association. Out of more than 250,000 women studied, a little more than 2,100 developed ovarian cancer.
But I just cannot get over 3 hours and it went unnoticed in the middle of the floor in the back line there inside the store.
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Maybe he's worked at a Taco Bell before.
Maybe. Was it frying something there? I don't know what that was.
Kind of makes you wonder.
Oh, it was cheese, I'm told.
Oh.
Okay. Something.
It makes you wonder about the situation, though. Wonder if he needed some help. So more mysterious drones are being spotted across Colorado, and now they're they're in our part of the state, I should say. Ahead, why one lawmaker claims these drones are a public safety issue. Companies have been showing off their high-tech and futuristic inventions at the Consumer Electronics Show. Check this one out. Mercedes-Benz unveiled its futuristic concept car, and it doesn't have a steering wheel. The car is inspired by the film Avatar. The vehicle is fully electric, features vegan leather seats and a recyclable battery. Instead of a steering wheel, it has a control center where drivers place their hands to steer the car. But don't get too excited. This concept will probably never go on sale.
Why? That's what I want to know. It's
yeah,
so cool.
Seriously. Why would they make it if they don't plan to sell it?
I think something tells me something like that will be out down the line. You know?
Neat.
Pretty cool.
I want to be like Avatar. Okay, you can now apply to be a hot dogger and see the country through the windshield of the Wienermobile.
Oscar Mayer is hiring drivers for a one-year assignment. The company has posted full-time jobs with benefits. It's looking for graduating college seniors who could promote the brand at events and on social media. All you got to do is go to Oscar Mayer's website, search for the opportunity there. As you know, the Wienermobile's become an American icon for over 80 years, and you can't miss it when it's in your city. I've been in one.
That seems like a great way to explore the world, right? If you're driving around a Wienermobile.
That's what I think too, and we were saying, and it's true, anybody who's in marketing or maybe has a bent towards social media, that would be perfect for them, you know, on-the-job training,
and
see
the
the world.
people you would probably meet, because everyone wants to talk to the Wienermobile driver.
So true.
Right, Lucy? Wouldn't you want to talk to him?
Yeah, I mean,
Welcome back to 11 News This Morning at 6:30. I'm Rebecca Hager.
I'm Adam Atchison, moving along this morning.
New this morning, Springs police are investigating a robbery that happened while people were in the store. 2 people robbed a gas station. It happened around 5 at Barnes and Oro Blanco on the east side of town. One person was a lookout outside, while another held up the business with a handgun. They both got away. CSPD tells us this morning they believe this robbery could be connected to others, but officers wouldn't say which yet.
Let's move on to what's new this morning. So plans are underway right now to rebuild a local middle school that Harrison School District 2 says needs some pretty big repairs. 11
News reporter Jenna Middaugh is live at Carmel Middle School. Jenna, what's in the works? Time right now is 6:34. A man accused of impersonating an officer in Colorado is under arrest. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says this is video of the suspect. He's the guy standing at the window there. Deputies say he flashed a fake badge and pulled over this woman. The woman knew something wasn't right, though. Smart woman. When he walked away to call for backup, she drove off. Because of tips, deputies were able to arrest 50-year-old Michael Nelson. He faces charges of impersonating a peace officer and false imprisonment. This morning, the El Paso County Sheriff is changing his mind about the new red flag gun law. He now says he will not petition it. The law allows law enforcement to temporarily take guns from people who are a danger to themselves or to others. Sheriff Bill Elder released a statement saying his decision to enforce this law is based on a commitment to keep the community safe. Several sheriffs in our state have said they would ignore the law declaring their counties Second Amendment sanctuaries. Sheriff Elder talked to us last March about the then bill, saying he would do everything he could to fight it. The law was passed this April and took effect last April, I should say, and took effect this year.
So a big mystery that's been making headlines for days still is not solved this morning. A Colorado senator now says those drones that we've been telling you about that are flying in one part of the state are now a public safety issue.
We've been telling you about these drones, how they've been popping up mostly in northeast Colorado, but now people are seeing them as far south as Monument. So far, no one's taken responsibility for the flocks of drones. Senator Gardner says he's worried now that they're spotted further south. south. Gardner says this is a safety issue because it's exposing a weakness that hostile nations would be able to exploit. Looking ahead now, we will be making calls today to try to learn the motive behind a deadly shooting. 27-year-old Ashton Ladd was killed in Canyon City. His family tells us he was shot right in front of his own brother. It happened Tuesday night at a home on 3rd Street. When officers got there, Ladd's body was on the front porch. We talked to neighbors who say they're surprised and worried.
It's getting to where you just gotta be alert and know where you're going when you go somewhere, and just got to be aware of what's around in your neighborhood, and deal with it as best you can.
2 people have been taken into custody. We're going to stay on this story and update you. We do know, I believe, that 1 person at least is facing charges. New this morning, a trash can that works for you, how it works and how much it'll cost when we come back. All right, Hollywood's most respected awards show will have something missing this year. The 92nd Academy Awards will be without a host when the Golden Statues are handed out next month. The president of ABC Entertainment said last year's hostless show worked out fine, so the network and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences decided to keep it that way. The 2019 Oscars were the first to be host-free since 1989. The Academy Awards airs February 9th. Well, the Consumer Electronics Show is going on, and there have been some pretty interesting things unveiled.
Yeah, and one of the inventions, I love this, is actually a trash can that will guarantee you won't go too long without changing the bag. It has an overload feature, and it'll do a lot of the work for you. The only thing it won't do is carry it out to the back.
That's what I was going to say. There's 2 things I need this trash can to do before I buy it. 1, clean itself, which it sort of does, I guess, but like, you know what I mean, like disinfect everything. 2, take the trash out to the garage or wherever.
That's what the inventors need to do. Something that'll allow it to spray its own Lysol.
Yes.
And then get sprout legs and walk out. Perfect.
Exactly.
Can't beat it. So
and 1 more peek outside at 6:48. Beautiful view. I was waiting for that. I knew it was coming. This is Monument. We'll be right back after this.
If you were watching the time, it's 6:51. I'm Adam Atchison.
And I'm Rebecca Hager. Let's check in with Lucy one more time before the top of the hour. How's it going? The number of Americans who have died from alcohol-related deaths more than doubled between 1999 and 2017. According to a new study in the journal Alcoholism, over the course of 18 years, researchers studied 1 million alcohol-related deaths. It's based on a review of annual death certificates. Researchers believe the actual number of deaths is an undercount because death certificates often fail to capture the role alcohol plays. Only about 1 in 6 drunk driving deaths is reported as being alcohol-related. And while we're talking about alcohol and driving, the number of people who were arrested in the southern Colorado area for DUI over the New Year's Day enforcement period ranked one of the highest on the list. From December 27th to January 2nd, 348 people were arrested statewide. Denver police had the most arrests with 33. El Paso County Sheriff's Office not far behind with 23, and CSPD had 22. Starting next Friday, there will be another DUI enforcement period, so remember to drive safely and responsibly, then and always.
It might make you think twice about wearing a helmet when you're riding one.
Be careful. Here's a look at what's coming up on CBS This Morning.
Jenna Middaugh says it's blocking the far left lane.
Okay, watch out for that. We'll keep you posted.
Have a great day, everyone, and stay warm.